Hello, everyone, and welcome to Eliel's Joy today. I am glad you're here. I'm glad to be able to do this episode with you. I started a few minutes later because I had some internet connection trouble. Welcome to this internet world, right? I'm glad to be here with you. Welcome today. This episode is all about how to get unstuck. And it is really important for us to get unstuck because sometimes we feel that we can't move forward. We feel a lot of stress. We feel very anxious. And there are some things that we need to know that we can do for ourselves to get through that phase of, I don't see anything, right? I'm always doing the same. I don't see any results. I don't have any way out. And for many, many people, that is a place that leads to a lot of anxiety. I'm a midlife and transformation coach. My name is Elian, and I help my clients with that. And today I want to help you and give you 3 questions that you can ask yourself to get through this phase of being stuck and being a little stressed out, right? Not seeing the results that you really want for yourself. And that is really important. And I want to help you with these questions to maybe just kind of sit down during the day. In the first place, we have to take a deep breath, right? To feel unstuck, to get that anxiety under control, to get to that point where you can say, I feel a little bit calmer. And I'm going to think about these things and I'm going to ask myself these questions today to see where I am and what I need to do to get to that place where I feel better and where I'm more in control. And one of the things that we have to start with when you are not seeing through the choices, sometimes you just feel overwhelmed, right? And you just don't know where to start. The first thing that we have to identify is identify what it is that you feel that you are struggling with before you can go to inner solutions, or before you can take some things to the next step. You have to understand the problem, and you have to understand why it is that you feel like that you feel anxious, or that you feel that you're in the middle of it and you can't get out. um, some things have been going on for a long time. We always say famously that if this is not working for you, then probably, right, you need to find another way or you need to do something else. But it is really important to identify what exactly it is that doesn't make you happy so that you can find solutions to move forward. And that is sometimes really difficult. Um, let's say, I give you a story. Let's say a client in the past. We have Jennifer, and she's happily married with a beautiful family, and she's constantly crying and constantly feeling really upset. And just deep down, through those situations where we feel that we really can't find a place to contribute, except for, in Jennifer's case, for instance, except for as a mom and as a beautiful, loving, caring, hardworking wife, spouse, and she did everything for anybody else and everybody else. But there was not really much for herself there. And she really didn't know and wasn't able to answer the question, when it comes to what do I dream of if this would have not, let's say, what I asked her, let's say that you didn't have the situation of the family and the kids, right? Let's say that you were by yourself. What would you be doing? Right? What is it that you would be doing? What would be your dream? If money wasn't an issue, and family and your surroundings and anything like that, if that was not an issue, what would you dream of? What would you be very good at? What would you love to do every day? And we have to kind of find that passionate feeling back inside and place it somewhere and redirect that energy towards it so that we can feel that feeling of fulfillment, right? So, like in Jennifer's case, I helped her find a creative outlet. And it was maybe not something that she was able to do something with 40 hours a week, but she needed to place it somewhere. She needed to bring that energy to something. And she could do a couple of hours a week in taking classes and finding back her way to express her art, right? It was really important. She loved to paint and make things for people. And that had been so long suppressed, that had been so long deep down under. And nobody had ever even said that what she was making in the past was actually really good. So she didn't feel that feeling of accomplishment and being able to contribute and just let go. And in the end, as I would tell her, not even really do it for others, but do it for yourself. So why care if people do or do not like it, right? So we have to find out what it is we want. We do know what it is we don't want. So we do have to find out what it is we would love and we would want. What makes us happy inside? That's the very first thing that we have to find out. Because we cannot constantly go back to, but I used to do this or I used to be so good at that. Because even in my case, let's say that I, you know, as a fitness and yoga teacher, right? What if I would say in the personal training and fitness, like, oh, the whole day I would say, oh, I wish I could still do what I was able to do when I was in my 20s and 30s. I just have to accept that my body doesn't work that way anymore and that I can't move that way anymore. And for that reason, I have to find a different way to redirect that energy to something that I really love. And I can still do lots of yoga and I can still do lots of Tai Chi and things like that. So that gives me that fulfillment, that redirects that energy and that creative outlet. And that way I can still do what I'm passionate about. So we always have to find something that brings us to a space where I can, with or without my surroundings, my environment, feel really happy and peaceful. That's really important. So before we go to do anything else, we have to understand the problem. We have to know, oh, you got there, right? Sometimes it just takes a little thinking and a little deep down and a little digging of why people make you feel worthless or why people make you feel um, not good at something, right? Or maybe there was jealousy involved, or maybe there was just no respect, right? And what would be different if you didn't have all these situations there? What would be your dream situation? We have to figure that out. So what is your ideal outcome? Just for you. This is Win-Win Women TV, right? Especially women talking to women. I've been there. And that feeling, ah, so if you're feeling that, that's what I want to help you with today. If you're feeling that stuck, why is it? You have to do a little digging sometimes and really find out what made you feel that way. And then the next step is number 2. If we find out what it is we want, then we can take action towards that, right? We're going to make a little plan. We're going to take some steps forwards. We'll make a list of options of all the different things that we can do. So you want to get back into your creative outlet. You want to get back into painting. Are you going to take a class in painting? Are you going to join a small gallery? Are you going to join a Facebook group about art? Are you going to join and put your art out there on social media? Maybe you start selling it. And maybe you could put a nice price on it that made you feel good. If you start that way, there are so many options to start small. It doesn't have to be 40 hour a week kind of thing, right? We just have to take small steps to those couple of things, those couple of hours a week that make you feel really, really worthy and happy and in a good place. And then let's start with small steps, right? We start with small steps, taking that action. And then from there, you can take some bigger steps and you can say, well, now I feel that I'm in my place of where I really want to go with this. Or maybe I started with these art classes, but I found out I'm really good with charcoal and I'm going to go black and white portraits. Or, right, you took some small steps to find out what it is, where you really want to be. Or maybe I go more into uh, portrait photography, right? Or I like black and white, something like that. So during that passion comes back, during the time you spend with yourself and your love, the things that you love, the feel, the zest comes back, your energy comes back a little bit. If the actions and the options are out there and you start taking these little steps towards really wanting to do something that you dream of, is it grabbing you? Is it realistic? Is it doable? Right? All these small steps, we have to figure that out. But if it all is good and it fits in with everybody else and you have that support and it is more enjoyable, it is more fun, it brings you a lot of good things back to where you need to be in a mentally and emotionally better place. Right? We have to find that out. Sometimes it's much more, sometimes it's maybe a relationship, maybe it's people around you at your job, maybe it's not feeling respected or appreciated, maybe it's just not feeling worthy because it comes from the past where you have some more deep down rooted trauma there. But there is something that we can do once we recognize and establish what it is, right? We have to know what it is and what the alternative is. What would you like to do for yourself to take that step forwards? And then I can give you a lot more steps. We can figure that out together. Like I said, right? You can join clubs, groups, you can start meeting people, you can start talking about it, you can start going to galleries, you start going to find equipment that you would love to work with and that is doable for you. And then in the third place, here comes step number 3, which is really important. Don't give up. Don't give up and make that commitment. Making that commitment is so huge, it's so big. Making that commitment is all about do something. I used to say all the time to my patients and clients, don't take something, don't go sit down there and just pick out of the fridge, right? Or have beer all day and all that stuff. We just have to get out of these silly habits of giving up and things that are not healthy for us. And then instead just go forwards and take little steps towards something that makes you feel happier, where you're in a better place, and then keep that commitment. Keep doing it. Keep taking small steps every day more towards you towards where you feel really accomplished and really feel better. Is it really working for you? How likely is it? And ask yourself this really honestly in question number 3, making that commitment. Step number 3, are you willing to make that commitment? And how likely are you going to follow up with that? Are you going to tell me it's a 2 or a 3 or a probably or a maybe? Or are you going to talk into a 9, 10, right? Where, yes, I'm going to do this. And if I don't like it, then at least I know that I don't like it, but I tried it. And now I can try something else. Where is it that I need to be? But at least I can try. And I did something to really move forward into that step forwards, right? So include for yourself a little schedule. Make that commitment to certain hours a week. Get your support system, get the people at home with you. Like Thursday nights, I'm going to that group or that class or that session or that seminar or this live event. And I'm going to do this for a couple of weeks. So I'll be out. I'll be out a couple of hours a week, and this is my schedule, and this is when I'm going to commit to that, right? So how likely are you going to commit to that action? Action step number 2. Step number 1, find out what it is. Step number 2, take action. Step number 3, make the commitment. How likely are you going to do that? Because I have seen a lot of times that we didn't follow through, me included, right? It's a lot of times that we just come back and say, I know I didn't. And that's why I love to work with my coach. And as a coach, I love to work with my clients because it's all about that commitment. It's all about that responsibility towards yourself and that accountability, right? And then sharing it with somebody else is so good. Having that question like, did you do it? And if you didn't, Why not? Why was it that you were held back from doing something that you would love to do? You wanted to read all the time, but you can't find it. And you feel that people are looking at you and staring at you if you are not doing anything. If you're not always busy, 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 right? An example from another client. If you always feel that you need to contribute to something and you need to be up and about and in the middle of it, and people are judging you for finding that me time, finding that quiet time, they think you're not doing anything. You're reading because you love that. And people around you don't understand that. They don't know that you are reading, that you are finding your quiet time, that you are finding your time away. And if that's not being understood, what happens with a lot of people, like my client in the past, one of my clients in the past, that is always this feeling of, I need to be on top of everything because if I take time for myself, it's not appreciated. That happens a lot. And a lot of us have that too. And if that is the case, then we need to go back to communication. How well are you going to be able to communicate that with your loved ones, with your support system? How badly do you need that support system? Maybe you do need to go away somewhere else and sit at the library and read that book and find those 2 hours away. Sometimes whatever it takes to get to that place, of course, without hurting anybody else. But usually it's communication. Usually it's the way we say things to each other. And that's a whole different thing, right? But I know and I want to feel as your coach, from my clients, I want to know and I want to feel if you felt that, if you had that this week, if you had that moment of, yes, I did it. And in the best way there, because you made that commitment to yourself to take new steps towards a new goal, towards a new happy, towards maybe a new career, a new plan. The best thing that I can hear and that I always start with in every session is, how successful were you at it? Tell me your successes of this week. Did you accomplish what you wanted to do? And how great did that make you feel? Even small accomplishments during the day are making us feel fabulous. And there's way too many times that we really don't pat ourselves on the back, right? We don't give ourselves that little hug that gives us that feeling of, I'm okay. I'm okay. A lot of times it has to do with us wanting to be in a place that is maybe less realistic or maybe not yet. So sometimes it takes just that. Just that. We'll make a big plan and it's new and it's exciting. How are we going to fill it in? How can I help you fill this in? Then that plan gives us little smaller action steps. And if you're starting to commit to every small action step, then we can see huge accomplishments. And that's going to make you feel good. And that's going to set you on the right path to find something that makes you feel fully, that makes you feel happy inside, that makes you full and joyful inside, right? That encourages you, yourself. You have to be happy with yourself to do that, what is really important for you, to fill you up, to come to the place where you need to be, spiritually, creatively, mentally, physically, even physically. Same thing. If you don't feel appreciated anymore, if you feel judged, if you're not happy with your body, if you're not happy with your looks, same thing, right? We're going to make a dream plate that tells us what is it that you do want if you don't want this anymore. And then how, if we establish that, how can we take small action steps towards filling this in? And every small step, if you commit to that, is going to give you huge accomplishments and huge feeling of success. And that's where I would love for you to be. So I hope that helped a little bit today. My friends, please reach out if you need help with anything that comes to you that has to do with you feeling stuck, with anxiety, with depression, with being stressed out, with being overwhelmed, not being able to handle it. And especially as midlife coach, I see that a lot. I see that a lot. With my moms, women in their midlife, right? It should be an amazing time. It should be an awesome time. Just when these years come that are gonna be for you, you want to know what you want to do. These years are for you, and you want to do what you want to do. So I hope that helps. Please reach out. You can find me on Linktree, Elion Haan, and you can find me on www.elionhaan.com. Please reach out. My Calendly link is in there. I follow that word all the time. It is in there for you to make an appointment and to reach out. And just for a couple of weeks, let's talk. I hope to see you next week. I hope this made you think. I hope this helped. I hope this made you laugh. Right? I hope it made you happy and set you on this plan. Taking a couple of moments out a day to think, what am I doing this for? Is this helpful? Is this good? Does this make me happy? And if that's the case, then you are on the right path. So thank you so much for joining today. I will see you next week on Allianz Joy, and we will share, have a great time, reach out anytime, and have a fabulous rest of the day. Make it a great day. I always say, bye.